Welcome back to the program. This is still Good Morning Kenya, time for our fast conversation this Thursday, and we want to delve deeper to that which we were having last week on Thursday, that is better understanding about events and decor industry. We didn't explore that much, but now we are here for that, and my guests are already here. That is Benard Neseri to my immediate right, who's the founder and creator of Neseri Creations. We also have Abraham Mwangi, ndio hao actually, ndio hao sasa. Abraham Mwangi also comes from the same company, and we just want to talk about events and decor, what you need to understand about that particular industry. If you're someone getting into that space, what you need to know, the challenges therein, how to navigate and maneuver all that. That is what they will be talking to us about. Ben,
yes.
Let's just pick it up from what you were having last week, and perhaps you can pick it up from that point of you went to school, ukafanya journalism, mass communication, then ukashift to events.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, for me, looking for jobs here and there, it was very hard. And at the end of the day, you have to pay your bills, you have to buy clothes, you have to eat and everything. So hapo ndio mtu natafutanga, like I need a plan B. And
event was a plan B.
Event was a plan B because I had seen what people do, and I was like, okay, if I have to go for a plan B, it should be the events now, because I've given it a try. Let me give it a try and see how it will take me. And perhaps nilijaribu nikasema the way nilikuwa nimeanza kufanya, because I was working with private companies for film and photography, but most of them were doing the events, corporate events, birthdays, weddings and stuff like that. So I used to be like a cameraman on the other hand. So still I used to maneuver between the events industry, the decor, and I could see how people are doing decor. And that's how I thought, like, let me give it a try in the decor industry. So from my first job, it wasn't that easy. It has never been easy. I tried the second one, the third one, but every day, every job, it was a learning process, and I became like better and better after each and every function that I got. Yeah.
And of course, there are some things you experienced here and there, which as we continue to expound, you tell us a bit about that.
Yeah.
But what about you, Abu? At what point did you realize, but there for me, this is actually an area in a space I want to focus on? Because unapatanga mostly things to do with arts, events, just like Ben is saying, it's plan B. As you can plan, I'm sure that actually I'm leaving high school, or this is what I'm going to study in campus. This is it for me. Rarely.
Yeah. So for me, back nikiwa bado campus and primary, but mostly bado nikiwa campus. So venye nilikuwa naona Ben what he was doing, nilikuwa namwambia nikikuja Nairobi nitakuja nifanya nawe kazi.
So for you to at least from kitambo it was a thing for you.
Nilikuwa tunaipenda but si kitu ningesema like saizi na imagine ningekuwa nafanya saizi. But venye nilikuja Nairobi nikafanya human resource. So and then after hapo corona came. So kupata hata internship na attachment kakuwa kazi, but nika just maneuver, nikakuwa na Ben akanisaidia, tukaanza kufanya naye kazi. So back in 2020 huko mwisho, so I guess Ben had 2 jobs. So moja akanipatia akasema wewe will be the man in the ground, hii ingine ya Kenya. So after hapo nikaona yenyewe events naweza kuwa serious nayo. So after hapo
area naweza try.
Yeah. Na Mungu amenisaidia. At least saizi place niko, nasema ni Mungu. Yeah.
As in, clearly you are just both reading from that similar script of what I'm trying to say, that when it comes to arts, this is acting, singing, doing events, doing decors, a kind of industry. Rarely utapata mtu anasema, when I grow up I want to be in this kind of space. Mostly it's always a plan B, but yet it's quite a fruitful kind of industry. Maybe I can start with you, Abu. Why do you think, from your perspective, it's never like a first thought for most young people, or even just for anyone as a whole, who is even into this space, and even they're making it big?
What I can say, watu hawataki like, you know, events ikona kazi, because unaweza enda mahali like unaenda like seme Kitale ama Nakuru, and then huko you don't have people in the ground, maybe unaweza kuwa una hire vitu kwao. So hiyo inaweza kuwa ni issue kwa mtu, and then how people like unaweza kuwa creative in a way that naweza kufanyia kazi and then nikuwe creative, tuseme the setup wewe ufurahie, but nikienda kwa mwingine and then nimfanyie hivyo, nasema hiyo si niliona kwa mwingine, anataka something new. So hiyo shift ya like kuwa creative all along inaweza kuwa shida.
So also it needs a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Ben? Why do you think in a way kwangi first thought ya most people?
To me, I feel like, you know, mtu ukiwa high school, there's something you want, there's that person you want to be after high school, after college, after you finished with school. There's something you want to do. So what people usually forget, what I believe in Kenya, like jobs are not guaranteed. That's what I believe.
What you studied for is not quite what you...
It's not question, because at the end of the day, after I finish college, when you find that maybe there's a place they're looking for, there's some vacancy somewhere, and they're looking for people maybe they're looking only for 20 people. But unapata during the day, watu kuja for the interview, we find like 1,000 people. So you find that unapata, there are so many people wenye wamesoma sana, but there are limited space za job.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you just have to be lucky for you to be among the chosen few. But kitu hatuja kuwa raised ni like in life you have to have a plan B at the end of the day, because umesomea journalism now, there's no job for journalism. What next? You need to have that plan B. So tumekuwa raised in a way that we don't find our plan B. We are just fixed on one thing, like mimi nimesomea journalism and that is all. I can't do that. But there are so many things that are related to journalism that you can do still in the same field. So we as a young generation, we need to open our mind and know that if I can't do this, I can still do this. If I can't do this, I can still do this. We have the potential of doing any other thing apart from what you had studied for. Because labda you may study something because your parent told you, I want you to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Then maybe in your heart, you don't feel like to be a doctor. You feel like I want to be a photographer at the end of the day. So where unaenda kwa field just knowing that I want to be a doctor because my parents told me to be a doctor. So unapata maneuvering in that field becomes so hard for you if you don't get that job. But once at the end of the day, if you are a doctor but you can still do something like part-time, like a photographer or something else as part-time, when this stops, at least you have something else to hold on. Exactly.
Don't you think that in itself is a statement that may be a bit contradicting? Tukisema in life you need to have a plan B. Don't you feel like in any way it makes someone would say, oh, ni mtu hayuko focused?
It's not contradicting. Trust me, let me tell you.
Okay.
When Corona happened, how many people lost their jobs?
Quite very many people lost. And even
Very
some are
many
still
people.
losing even up until now.
Some are still losing jobs right now. Okay, now you've lost your job and you are focused to be a doctor and there's no job for you. What will you do?
Think of something.
Think of something, because at the end of the day, you have to pay your bills.
Yeah.
You have to eat, maybe you have children, you have to pay school fees, rent and everything. There's so many things that come along. So at the end of the day, in life, you need a plan B. Just in case something fails, you can work on something else. You don't stop there because it has stopped. You need to find another way to maneuver through in life.
Okay. Abu, umesema at least you've been able to do even projects by yourself, even without the guidance of Ben.
Yeah.
Or that obviously kwa events, you know, Decor, clients pia wanakuja na whatever their mind is thinking, and you as an expert, you have what you're thinking. Yes. How do you work hand in hand with the client?
Okay, for us, at first, kama client I met to approach, and we have an event maybe within Nairobi, na client ni wa Nairobi. So what we do, most of the time, tunaambia our client akuja kwanza kwa ground, at least aone what tutam-deliver kwake. So akikuja, atakuwa na that picture, what she or he will get. But sometimes maybe anaweza kuja, and then aseme, I don't want this, I don't want this, nimependa hii. So from there, tutaweza kumwambia, okay, for us, tunaweza fanya hii, tutafanya hii, hapa tutakuchenjia, we'll do this and this for you. So most we just tell our client wakuje, at least wajione before we do for setup for them. Yeah.
How about those difficult clients, Abraham? Wale wenye tu, perhaps when you have agreed on something And then in a way too, you know, people are so interesting and quite funny. And a change even just towards the day of the event, or they are constantly complaining. It may be a bit challenging and difficult.
Very.
And I'm so sure you have perhaps, the way you're smiling looks like you have perhaps to deal with such kind. Perhaps someone who's watching and they're thinking, this is a space and an area I'd want to venture into, but the challenges that come with even dealing with such difficult clients may not be a thing for me. How do you do that?
For us, huwa tuna waongelesha before the event. So tukiongea na hao, we know what the kind of setup wanataka. But mostly unaweza pata client wengine mara moja, maybe on Friday change everything.
Na event ni Saturday ama Sunday.
Event ni Saturday. So inakuanga tricky, but we try our best.
The way Benard agrees.
Yeah, we've had such situations, not once, not twice. You agree with a client on something, then on the day to deliver, they have another impression of what they want. Na imekuwa kitusumbua sana because, okay, as much as you can see the decor, it's so beautiful, like it's so much that comes along with it. Because mostly, so to avoid such situations, what we do, like once we get a client, we sit down with the client, they tell us what they want with their budget. And what we usually prefer, we go to the venue, exactly where their function will be. So before that, tunaenda kwa venue, sightseeing first with them. They tell us this is what we want, this is what we want. Then we write down each and everything they want. From there, now we have an agreement, like this is what you want, this is what we are going to deliver at this cost and this cost. So we have an agreement that is signed. So sometimes in the way inatokolea in terms of the client changes everything, that we have, at least we have a draft of what we had agreed on, so that if they decide to change something, now it comes at an extra cost on our side. But
on your side or the client side?
On the client side, because this is what we agreed, then you are changing the setup. Now it comes as an extra cost because at the end of the day, because we had like psychologically prepared, this is what we're going to set up on set. Then you come with another thing to change, because sometimes there's a change kitu, maybe what we had carried, hatuna hapo hivyo. We have to outsource another thing to come on the set right that time. So we have an agreement first, and before you change your mind, you have to check on the agreement. Exactly.
So clearly there are various steps even when a client comes to you or vice versa. Okay, let's talk a bit about budgeting, because again, obviously when we are still in COVID times, I don't like feeling like when COVID happened, we are still here. Around that period, especially in 2020, early 2021, events were not happening, and this is where you rely mostly on your income, events, because you're into events and decor. So at this point, a client is coming to you, they perhaps even want to hold like a small birthday party, a get together, you know, baby shower, something of that sort. And they tell you, I have this amount of money, but based on whatever you people, whatever unasikia, akisema uko like, this can be quite costly. How do you navigate budgeting together with a client?
Now, we have, actually when Corona will happen, like most of the clients will cancel the events. Most of the clients will cancel events, and now we were like, wow, what are we going to do? Now, tukaanza kupata hizi small functions like birthdays, baby showers, bridal showers, too small to graduations. People are hosting like a function for 10 people, 15 people, 10 people. Now we also had to come up and set like a small budget to accommodate these people. And what we were looking for, like for us now, we are just looking for something to survive, a means to survive, because we were praying and hoping that this situation one day it will come down. And at the end of the day, if we work something small for these clients, what we are going to do is we're going to build trust with the clients, and next time when things will happen, at least will be the first priority people will go for, because we've given them as a good price, a good budget. So normally we set a small budget for the clients. Kuna mtu anakuja kwambia, okay, mimi nataka kufanya baby shower na I only have like 10,000 for 20 people. Can you set us like a budget for that? So for us it was easy because tulikuwa tumebuy some few things of ours, because mostly when you have big functions we do hire out, because at the end of the day we have also big companies to do deco. Kuna Mosaic, kuna Allure, Lux and Allure, we have Wonder Joy. They do big functions. But now we have this small client, pia kona ka budget kadogo. we also have to accommodate them because at the end of the day they also want to feel good. Na sisi tunasemanga once tunafanyia kitu poa, tunaongea na yeye tunasema aka budget kako utakufanyia kitu poa, but when it comes to someone asking you how much was it, at least mwambie it was a little bit high so that at least
is that not being honest in business?
No,
honest.
it's being honest because at the end of the day we are looking for clients.
Okay.
Fanya kazi mzuri itajiuza because unaweza fanya kazi poa ya almost 10 ya like 50,000 but umemfanyia na cost ya 10,000 because vitu zenye umetumia most of them uko nazo.
Okay.
So will feel like badala hizi vitu zikae kwa nyumba ama kwa store, let me use them, event ikuwe poa so that at least one client ataona, another client ataona. So from there it's all, si tukifanya function tunasemanga it's our marketing time. Tukidisplay the best work tunapata, that's the moment kuna clients watakuja kuulizia unaenda kufanyia hii deco, who did this at what cost, no, let me just give you the number, mtaongea na wao. So we at least we accommodate each and everyone. Ukiwa tena budget kidogo, we can speak out. Unajua kitu ya maana inakuanga like let's talk.
Have a conversation.
Have a conversation, okay. Exactly.
And also it looks like, just picking from what you're saying, looks like also a good important thing and also perhaps for people to notice that if you're in this kind of space or this kind of industry, it is also important to have things of your own.
Now, people forget, like if really for that person who's watching and wants to start events, there are 4 things you need to understand. 4 things you need to understand. Number 1, unafaa kuwa like to sacrifice, because you have to sacrifice all your weekends, because most of the jobs napatikana weekends. Sacrifice all your weekends. Number 2, you need to invest, because unaweza kuwa na budget mzuri, like umepata client amekulipa like 70,000 and you are spending almost 50,000 hiring out things. So you need to invest for you to get those jobs. And another thing is be creative. Like hii kazi inataka creativity, because unawezenda mahali kuna so many hotels tunaendanga unapata wall, usijaribu kuinterfere na anything, rangi nini msumari usiweke anyway. You need to be creative at the end of the day, then be ready to get tired. Hii kazi ni very tiresome. It's not a joke, it's very tiresome. But yeah, it's very tiresome. Creativity, be ready to get tired and be ready to sacrifice all your weekends. Unaweza miss even family functions just because you have a client on a weekend. So you need to sacrifice, you need to invest, you need to be ready to get tired, because it's very tiresome. But if you kama uko na passion nayo, you won't feel that.
Okay.
Exactly.
Clearly, as you conclude, Abraham, maybe I could just try to finish with you and picking up on that issue of budgeting. Have you had kwenda kwa mfuko yako ukatoa something just to make sure that at the end of the day with this low budgeting, your client, at least we can give him or her whatever it is desire ama anataka?
Yeah, it's true. Na si mara moja.
Mara nyingi.
Yeah. Like for now, saizi maybe most of the time saizi time ya corona and part of last month, the other month, tumekuwa na like client anakuja akisema mi sina pesa, but I need this and this. So for us tuna take that opportunity kujimarket. Juu kuna another client tulikuwa na yeye and from that function tulitoa pesa yetu and from that function tumepata like 7 clients from that function. So kama tungekataa kusema no, we cannot, so tungekuwa tumelose our 7 clients. But tunajaribu.
So that's where the part of sacrifice comes in. Okay, now we are finishing for true. And we are finishing, Ben. You can now give us your social media handles where people can get you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if there are any. That is your camera there.
On Instagram, we are Neseri Creation, Neseri N-E-S-S-E-R-I. On Facebook, Neseri Creations. Twitter, Neseri Creations. Everywhere, Neseri Creations. Yeah.
Everywhere, Neseri Creations, that is how you can find them for anything you might also want. Just also picking up from what they're saying, it is not easy to be in the events industry. It takes sacrifice, creativity, and passion all together. We take a very quick break. We return with plenty more on the other side of this break.